So it's another beautiful day on the Battle for Azeroth beta, and today we're going to take a look at the new Warfronts. So the Warfronts is just one of many features coming in BFA. Blizzard's trying to make a lot of repeatable content for players to enjoy, like the Warfronts and Island Expeditions. If you don't know what Island Expeditions are or how they work, make sure to check out my guide on Island Expeditions. And I will leave a link to this in the descriptions below. Anyways, Warfront is a PvE scenario set in a PvP environment-ish. It shares similarities with how Warcraft 3 works, gathering resources, building stuff, and recruiting warriors with the end goal being to destroy the opposing faction. Completing a Warfront gives you some Azerite power and some gear. Not sure how that will work when BFA launches, but right now you get like a free 40+ item every time you finish one. I assume this won't be the case live because gearing would be pretty trivialized by that. But even if there's just a chance to get some loot, it's still repeatable content and it is something to do between dungeons and before Mythic Plus is released to gear up faster. So you start off by queuing in. There's a war table in the port of Sandalar, and I'd assume one in Borealis Harbor as well. Just like the Island Expeditions, you use these to queue in, so no interface, you need to use the table. The Warfront starts on your faction's ship, where you fly in towards your base, parachute down, and the battle begins. You need to reclaim your base by killing a mini-boss and capturing a flag. And the objective of a Warfront, as I mentioned earlier, is to destroy the opposing faction, and this is achieved by laying siege to their keep and defeating their commander. There is a few different commanders you can get, so it's a bit randomized, but in the end it's pretty much the same. Defeat him or her, win Warfront, get loot. It seems that some events or mobs will differ a bit depending on what commander you face, but it felt pretty much the same all the time with just some random other kind of mobs. So on that note, how do you do this? Well, as I mentioned before, it's a bit Warcrafty, but the main theme is capturing points. There's a few key points like the mines and the lumber mill, to mention a few, but you need most of these in order to be able to defeat their commander. And capturing these points allows you to gather resources, research buffs, and gear for your recruits, or to actually recruit different NPCs to help you, like soldiers that will follow you, demolishers that will lay siege to the enemy keep, or an elemental that just wrecks stuff that comes in its way. So you usually start off by capturing the mine and the lumber mill so that you can get your iron and lumber, which you need to build, research, and recruit things. The iron you can pick up from carts in the mine or from a chest in your base. This chest fills up over time, and if you upgrade to a stronghold or a keep, you'll get more peons for your mine, which in turn means the iron fills up faster. As for the lumber, you pick up an axe and you go out and cut some trees. So with these resources we can start contributing to buildings in our base, like the barracks, which allows us to recruit soldiers like grunts and axe throwers, which follow you into battle, making future points a lot easier to capture. But the opposing faction isn't just going to sit around and wait for you to take over their bases. They will continuously send waves upon waves upon waves of enemies towards the different points you've captured and your base. So you need to keep an eye out for warnings and what happens on your map. That is, unless you want them to recapture the points and you have to start over again. And there's a couple of different ways you can approach a Warfront. You can be a frontliner, if you will, charging into battle and capturing points. So you can spend most of your time there gathering resources and upgrading the base, both of which are needed. And you can of course do both of those things. Just be ready for a lot of running, because this place is huge. Luckily, when you've captured the flight path, you can use it to get to different places around the Warfront, and you can use your whistle to return to your base. And on top of this, there are some events that can spawn during the Warfront, if you will. It can be rare mobs that you help, and they help you out in return, or there can be rare mobs that you defeat and recruit to help you during the Warfront. So yeah, pretty much a Warcraft free map from the hero's perspective. All in all, I kinda like what Blizzard is going for here. At first I thought this was just gonna be another take at a large-scale PvP thing, which is okay, but as many of you know, I don't do PvP like at all, so that would be dead content for me. And that's not to say that other people wouldn't have liked it to be a large-scale PvP scenario, but for me it's more fun on the PvE side. And I'm always happy when they add new fresh content that hasn't really been seen before, and this is definitely that. Is it perfect? Far from it. It has its issues, and as it is right now in beta, it is seriously undertuned, which makes it kinda to play. The idea of it I love, but the execution needs some work. But that's what the beta is for, so hopefully they tune it up a bit and nail it before BFA is launched. And I assume a lot more maps will be added during the expansion, because just doing the same one over and over and over again will render it super boring really fast. But I will definitely be running a lot of these at the start of the expansion, at least until it as a gear source has run dry. And I really hope that they make it a bit harder than it is right now, or give us more difficulties to choose from, like normal and heroic. I know people hate that, but I mean, I'd like it to be a little bit more difficult. Because this has so much potential, but right now the choices you make, what troops you went for, how you spent your resources, what kind of buffs you went for, it doesn't matter. As long as you get some of them, you will win. But right now, there's no way you can lose, and playing it a bit better means you finish it a couple of minutes faster, and the average Warfront I've done has been around 25 minutes, so sure, faster is better, but still, I'd like what I do to matter. But anyways, it will be very interesting to see where they go from here. That is it for this look at the Warfront, and I hope this has cleared them up for you if you didn't already know how they worked. And I'd love to hear what you think about the new Warfront, so hit me up in the comments below and let me know if you're excited or you're already bored with them. And on that note, if you have any questions at all, make sure to hit me up in the comments below. I try to answer any and all questions as well as I can. And as always, if you like these kind of videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave me a like, and ring that notification bell and switch it to all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.